Hey y'all, this is your girl Tay. Welcome back to Hustle Like a Queen but Live Boldly with Tay. Um, Today is a special day. It's a special moment because it's February, the month of Black History, and I do want to talk about a little bit, Black History Month. I feel like um, we need to recognize all the Black women um, in American history. I feel like they don't get recognized as often as they should within just Black History Month. Not even Black History Month, but all entrepreneurs, inventions, and um, there's a whole list of women who have done and invented a lot of stuff in today's world that we use. So just a whole list. We have Angela Davis in the late 1960s, and in the early 70s, she was a major activist. And then also we have Patricia Harris, who was the first woman to serve as an American ambassador. So there's just so many other women, and the list goes on and on. If you just want to Google it or research it, I feel like those women do have to be recognized too as well. Um, just to when I was younger, my mom, she used to, when I had those projects in high school, she'll tell me, well, you need to do a project on, someone who is African American so I can get to know who these people are in our histories. So one of them was, who I researched, it was Phyllis Wheatley. She was a poet, and the her enslaved family taught her how to write and read and everything that she needs to know because they saw that she was very intelligent and smart. So they just taught her how to write and read, and then she became a poet. And then there's also Madam C.J. Walker. So Madam C.J. Walker, I did a project on her when I was in high school. So she invented hair products for women. I believe it was for women, yeah. Just a lot of the hair products that we use in today, everywhere that we use for our hair, and there's a whole list of women who were entrepreneurs, inventors, and poets, and did a lot in back in the day, and we don't ever acknowledge those type of women who have done those things. But that is just to say, as for Black History Month, I just want to acknowledge all those women who actually did things for us to use, because it wasn't just men who created all these stuff. And there were some women who were jazz singers, and just a whole list of them that we need to also know who these women are and what we use with our products. But today's topics, I do want to get into my topic for today. So my topic for today, for our discussion, will be how to overcome a toxic relationship, or any woman who is going through domestic violence. I have spoken in my previous videos on my Facebook page that I will be having a discussion about this. So this is my next discussion that I want to help others to overcome getting through those tough relationships. So to speak of it, as my background of going through certain things, I was one of those who went through minor situations when it came to domestic violence, but it wasn't like something major. But at the same time, it was still something that I feel like every woman needs to understand how to get through them and how to deal with those situations. So number one thing is always, always, always have a support system and always be able to speak up about what's going on, because some situations are worse than others. You don't want to end up getting yourself into a more dangerous atmosphere with that. So how I overcome my situation was I decided, enough it was enough, and one of those reasons of me leaving Connecticut was that reason. There was multiple reasons why I did leave. It was to start a new lifestyle, but also to get away with what was going on with my previous relationship. And I also feel like that no matter what you're going through, it's okay to talk to somebody about it, and to also you can also get counseling. Make sure that it's somebody that you do trust and that you want to be able to communicate with, because not everyone is always there for you when it comes down to counseling. So how I got over mine was basically I said enough was enough, and I also did talk to friends, but at that time a lot of my friends were going through the same similar situation, so it kind of wasn't helpful at that time, because we was all going through something, but I did have a lot of support with friends. And just don't let nobody else tell you. Another thing that really is we shouldn't be doing, if a person is going through a situation like that with their relationship, you shouldn't be talking down to them either. If you have went through that in your past, I feel like another woman who is speaking to that woman to help her should be able to be like, hey, I went through the same thing, probably not at the same as you, but this is how I got through mine. And because I think today's society, everyone just like to talk down about it and just feel it and just say, well, why you didn't leave, or why you still in that relationship, or because it's hard. It is hard. It's hard to leave something like that, because as a woman, you have emotions and you think of, well, I still love that person, or I have a child with this person, and it's not always. We have to think differently, and not think of a child, or because you love them, you might have love for them, but the love is still. It's not love when it comes down to a toxic, and when it comes down to someone just putting their hands on you. Especially if it's like multiple times over and over. So with mine, I also got counseling. I also got help to how to be able to speak up for myself and get rid of all the emotions I had. I had just had a baby, had postpartum, I had a lot of things going on. I was stressing, depressed, and that person wasn't helpful at the same time. He was always, it was came to a point where I just realized I'm not going through this. I'm not putting myself in this situation. Before it got worse and worse and worse, that's when I decided I want to transition to a different state and leave. And it wasn't just him at the same time, so I'm not gonna just say, oh yeah, it was him. But yeah, that's why I did speak of some of my last, not my last video, but the other videos of, it's not okay to put your hands on each other. So it goes both ways for men and a women's, because things could evolve into a more serious thing. And then I also had to learn to stop to talk to a man differently. So I'm over that type of stage, and I had to learn to not be angry and just throwing your hands at people and all this kind of stuff. And it was just a learning process. So I've came across a few other people that I've met who went through the same situation, and one of those was, I had a coworker who was just like, hey, I was in this relationship and I didn't know how to get out of it. He was doing these things and I just had low self-esteem. I didn't know how to speak up for myself. And my thing was, I talked to her and I just said, hey, I went through the same thing, but it wasn't as how your situation was, but you gotta learn how to speak up for yourself. You gotta learn when enough is enough, because it could lead to a more serious situation. And a lot of women out there has the same thing. Like, they don't know how to speak up for yourself. They don't know when to leave. And it's okay to say that you don't know how to leave. It's okay to speak up. It's okay to think, well, we have kids together. It's okay to say those things. And I think today in society we have it where our mindsetting is just like, well, why you stay? Well, why? What's the reasoning? If I was you, I would have left, but and then we also got to realize it's that person, the woman also has to want to be helped. The woman also has to say in their mind, well, enough is enough. This is where I don't want to be in this situation no more. I need some help. And we all need to be positive and help each other with that stage, because not everyone is built the same. And for my own life, I was around friends, we went through the same thing, so I couldn't get more help on this. I was around other people, I guess, just being negative, just be like, well, if I was you, I would have left. Or at your age, I left and stuff. But why do we need to talk to each other like that? Why we can't be like, well, maybe you just need some help. Maybe you need to go and figure out how you can get leave that stage. And I understand it's not easy leaving that person, and it's not. It is not. I have friends who's been in their relationship for a long time and dealt with it for a long time, and they decided to leave and to move to a different state themselves. But as women, we just need to be strong. We need to not knock somebody down and not be negative to them in their situation. Just try to help them get through that situation. Because if you do watch those movies that you be watching on TV, reality shows, all that, you be seeing in it, and some people go through worse toxic and domestic violence situation to the point that they end up in a hospital, or some don't No, I don't even want to think of that, but it happens. Um, that's why, to me, I just feel like it was important for me to speak of it, because not a lot of people in this world speak positive on that, and I'm pretty sure, like, every woman go through this. Every woman they go to minor situations to major situations, and they don't know how to get out of it. Um, and I get it. It's hard. It's hard to get out of it. Um, I think there was a moment where I I was gonna get mad and upset, and there's a night where my mom has saved me from it because she saw that I was getting mad and angry, and she probably knew that something was gonna happen when that person had came back to my house. So we need someone to help you. You need someone to help you. You need someone to a friend, family to get you out of that toxic relationship. Because if you stay and stay and stay and stay and don't leave, then it could evolve into something bigger. And we don't want that to happen. And then a lot of us get where a man in that relationship talks down to them and will say, well, you're not going nowhere, or we'll never find anybody else better than me, then all this other crazy stuff that they say to put you in that space of mind, and which you gotta be able to dictate for yourself and be like, I've been in that position and you're better than that, and you can go off on your own and restart your life over. I did it. I left for a reason. I restart over, and I'm doing well, very well for myself. And I got a lot of, and it's just so sad how someone can be say negative stuff. I got a lot of negative things. Those negative comments that was said to me was, well, you're just running away from your problems. You're not facing your problems. And by me wanting to get away from it, is not running away from your problems. It's me saying enough is enough. It's me saying that I can do better. I'm not gonna force myself to be in something and I have my children with me. No. And that's a really serious situation. So when I was talking to my coworker, and I just told her, I was like, well, you're brave enough to even leave. You're brave enough to walk away before anything got bad. There was just a time where we were just having that conversation, and I just learned how to speak to another person when it comes down to toxic and domestic violence, because it's not easy. It's not easy. And especially if you went through it, why put someone else down if you went through it? How about, just speaking up and say, I don't know your situation. I don't know what's going on, but you can get through it and you can get away from it. And ladies, please, please, please try not to think of, well, we have kids together. No, we can't think that. We need to stop thinking that just because you got a child with somebody, or 3, 4, 5 kids with somebody, meaning you gotta stay. No. Because your health, your mindset is more important than thinking that, well, I'm staying because of the kids. No, we need to stop thinking that, because there's no such things of staying in something that because of a child, because it can get worse and worse and worse. Even when it comes down to marriage and everything else, for me, I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe staying into a relationship just because of a child, because it can also mess up everything. It just doesn't work. 99% of the time, it doesn't work. That's just of my own beliefs and what I went through. I'm always going to think with my mind and not with my heart, because us women, that's what we was built for. We was built to be emotional. We was built to love and care. But there's a time where we have to be strong and be fearful and stand up to that person, because if you don't stand up, then they'll know that they won, and we don't want that. Trust, we don't want that. And that's what I did. I stood up to that person. I said, enough, it was enough. I'm leaving. You can see your child whenever you want to, because I would never do that. I would never hold them back. That's the type of person I am. But yeah, and I gotta drink my own little wine because I'm telling my story at the same time. Let's see. I just came across a lot. The friends that I have, we all went through the same thing, but different stories. We learn to be strong for ourselves. We learn to speak up for ourselves. Please don't believe in a man who says you can't go nowhere. They belittling you, basically what that is, and putting your self-esteem down. And in your mind, we also have to think that, where were you before you met this person? Where were you before you met this person? If you had your own place, your own job, your own everything before you met this person, you can get back on your own. You can move on your own. And one thing I do want to point to, because just a little story that I went through just by me working at the law firm. So I can't disclose much about it, but having a conversation with one of my clients and going through some things, and I have told her, don't ever, 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 ever put your trust and move. Like, if you're not married, then you need to sort of like move on your own. Have your own everything. Because she was in a situation where she lost everything because she put her trust in a boyfriend that basically just screwed her over. And we need to stop depending. Yeah, you depend on a man, but make sure it's the right person to do that. Make sure it's the right relationship to do that. Because at the end of the day, certain relationships don't happen that way. What if that person cheats? What if that person go off and find somebody else? And then you're left with nothing. And unless you're married, for me, in my opinion, even you're married, for me, even if you're married, us women needs to start thinking a little bit better what we do, because there's a lot of situations that I see and that I hear, and just be sitting with another woman and just having a conversation, and just like, I just feel sorry, and I just try to help them. And this is why I'm just so passionate with this, with podcasts, and of listening to somebody how to get over these situations, how to be able to lift somebody else up, because I went through the same thing, and I honestly really didn't have much support. So I had to learn on my own to get through a domestic violence, to get through a toxic relationship, to be able to support myself and get through that. I didn't have that much support. I didn't have that much positivity. Only positivity was there for me was friends and a couple of family members that I talk to when things goes wrong and when I need to vent. Because I just feel like it's sad that there are a lot of negative things that happen. Let's see. So, yes, again, please try to help that person get through that. That person might be going through, number one thing, the key points of getting through these relationships, getting through these situations, is to always speak to somebody. Is to always let somebody know what is going on. And then that person will be able to give you some positivity in your life. And always let somebody know what's going on. Don't be secretive about a domestic violence. Please, 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 no. And then second thing is, make sure you have that support system. It's always important to have a support system, and it's always important to have somebody who gives you positive advice and inspiration. I had to use that when I came here. I have a family member that I went to, and she helped me learn a lot, just by communication and talking peacefully. So again, this was a serious topic I really did want to get to, because I have came across multiple women who went through this and just said to me, well, I wasn't strong enough to get through it. I wasn't strong enough to leave. God made us all women strong to get through these situations. We just need to apply it. And if you need help, if you can't apply it, get some counseling. There's so many services out there to help you get through that. And just because you love that person, don't mean that person love you, because that person would never do what they did if they didn't love you. And some people love differently, and but that doesn't mean it's okay to do what it doesn't mean it's okay to mentally, physically, verbally abuse that love. And to me, in my eyes, it's not love. Number one key, don't stay because you love that person. Don't stay because because a child's involved. And I get it. It's hard to get through it. I get it. There's so many times where I should have left myself, but it was hard. But once again, thank you guys for watching. And there's going to be many conversations, many topics. I'm hoping to bring on some friends. I'm hoping to have a banging conversation. We're going to be turned up, maybe. We'll see. Not that turned up, but, just feeling the vibe with each other, just having those deep conversations where, this world don't ever have those conversations. I mean, we see a little bit going on, but not those deep conversations that people just be like talking so wrongly and negative, and we need to learn to not do that. But again, I'm all for 100% for lifting each other up for my community. And within this Black History Month, we also should support each other's business. Black on Black business, Black owned business. A lot of us are starting businesses. So again, please like, comment, subscribe this channel so you can be able to follow every time. I'm going to try to post. Right now I'm posting every weekend on Saturdays, so I'm going to try to post more as I get more into this. And then also go on my Facebook page too. My Facebook page is Hustle Like a Queen but Live Boldly with Tay. There's a few videos up there I did when I started. So again, like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next weekend. Love you.